Good morning, children. The other day we have seen 1857 revolt and how we Indians raised for the freedom of independence. We wanted to send the Britishers out of India, that is quit India. That lesson is national movement A, part A, that is. In that only part 2, part 1, part 2 we are seeing. So 1885, very important, Indian National Congress formed. Then these National Congress first leaders were called moderates, then extremists came. These moderates, they wanted gradual pace of movement. That is, they pray them and petition them, then protest. Slowly they did everything from the Britishers. Whereas the next group, extremists, they were ready to sacrifice themselves and ready to kill the Britishers also to achieve the freedom movement. So this in that only 1905 partition of Bengal took place. Britishers divided. Lord Curzon, he only divided the Bengal into two. Hindus and Muslims, they wanted to divide that unity. In that, among these extremists, Balagangadhar Tilak, Bal, and Bipin Chandra Pal and Lala Lajpati Rai. In short, we say them Bal, Pal, Lal. These three were the main extremist leaders. And among them, this Balagangadhar Tilak, he wanted to achieve Swaraj, that is Swarajyam, our Rajyam. So, Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. This is the slogan given by Balagangadhar Tilak. Repeat, Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. And these moderates, when they were doing the gradual pace of the pace, they were called as mendicancy, that is begging for alms. They were begging. That's why their slogan was pray, petition and protest. That is the difference, main difference between these moderates, national leaders and extremists. Tilak and other leaders, they were imprisoned because they were in that 1905, after that Vande Mataram movement, they were all arrested by the Britishers. And in the 1915, again that national movement started. Why? They were all, the people who were imprisoned, they came out, and Tilak also released from the prison. So again they wanted to start their movement, 1915. Yesterday, in that other period, I told you, some Britishers also helped Indians. Some Indians also, they wanted Britishers to continue. So, this criticism, that opposite part, opponent thinking will be always there. Depends on the people. So, Annie Besant also, Britisher only, he helped to launch Home Rule movement, Swaraj, Home Rule movement. Our India, we have to rule. That only Home Rule movement. He helped the Congress people to launch this Home Rule movement. Though he was a Britisher, he helped the Indians to form this Home Rule movement. That is the main thing we have to see here. In the meantime, 1914 to 1919, entire world were facing the war. That only we call it as First World War. It took place for 5 years, 1914 to 1918. In this war, countries were divided into two parties. One, British, that is UK, France, Russia. These were one group. Germany and other countries, they were the allied. Allied means they joined. So in this, Britain, France, Russia, they were the very powerful, and Germany also developed their war weapons, tools, everything, but they were defeated because the Germany, their main intention is expanding the kingdom. No doubt Britishers also had that, but Germany was defeated in the First World War. Then, how do we come to know about this First World War and these moderates, extremists and all? Newspapers and magazines helped us. English education started. Like that, this Krishna Patrika, there was one famous newspaper and the magazine. It was edited by Muttunuri Krishna Rao. He was a writer and he worked in the newspaper magazine. He helped that papers helped to spread the nationalistic feeling what was going on in India, and raised the people to the movement. So when the people, English educated people, read this patrika, they came to know about what was going on happening in India. So this Muttunuri Krishna Rao, he edited all these papers and engaged in that job 1902 to 1945. He died in the year, he expired in the died in the year 1945. Till that he served for that paper. Then people seeing this patrika and reading this patrika, discontent was increased. Content means discontent means dissatisfaction among the people. They were very unhappy. They wanted to send the Britishers out. It was there in their mind. And in Russia also, during this First World War 1917, they were protest in their country. There were revolution was took place. Why that revolution? There the king, the Louis XIV and all ruled. They wanted to remove. People wanted to remove the Louis XIV from the kingdom, and in the 1917 they started a protest against the kings. Like that, these people abolished. They did not want. Russians did not want emperor, king, queen rule and landlordism in the agriculture, jamindarism and all. So people wanted democracy, people power. So seeing that Russia, Indians also got an idea, why can't we do these Britishers to send out? So that Russian Revolution inspired the Indians, and in the same time 1919 Gandhiji also returned from South Africa, and he joined in India. He saw the condition. He went on tour 1919 entirely, and he came to know the condition of India, and he left this law. He studied law and all in England. He left it and he wanted to join in the freedom movement of India when he was very young. So 1919 he returned from South Africa and he joined Indian freedom movement. So from that year 1919 to 1947 we see that next phase 11B lesson national movement.